Welcome to the video, boys. Today it is currently Saturday, the 25th of October, 2025, and I'm still waiting on a response from the previous screening video interview to this date, and that was on Thursday, and now it's Saturday. So rather than getting impatient or in my feelings and just twiddling my thumbs waiting for a response, I'm going to be a little bit proactive here. So what I've done is I've got a random wheel generator here. I've got 9 questions that I believe is likely they're going to ask me in the next stage interview if I was successful for it. So the way I got these questions, I've done some research online on what they believe is the most common questions to get asked on the next stage. And I'm just going to try and answer them to the best of my abilities. Okay, we're only going to do 5 for this video. I'm going to spin the wheel and answer it just off rip. No script, nothing. Everything from my brain on how I think I would answer it. Say I was in the position. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see how we do. But this is better than doing nothing and sitting around and waiting. So anyway, let's get into it, boys. Alright, first spin, let's go. How do you handle a lead who says they need more time? Now, when it comes to handling leads, what I would usually do, especially a lead that says that they need more time to think, I would listen to their answer. Okay, for example, they're like, yeah, I would sign up, but I need more time to think. I would be like, yeah, I would empathize. I'd be like, yeah, I totally get it, man. Like, this is a decision that I'd hope you'd be thinking about. It's gonna change your life if you take this decision. So now, just out of curiosity, between you and I, man, like this is off the record, like just between me and you, what's really holding you back from moving forward today, man? That's what I'll do in a situation like that. I'll try and get them to lower their guard, and then I come and respond and try and repitch again, because usually the think about it is a smoke screen, but that's how I respond. My response to question 1, I think it was a fairly decent attempt. I had some good points here. I, listened and empathized first, and then I went into a reframe. However, I think I could have been a little bit better there in terms of the response to make it more targeted to what this next role actually wants to hear. So what I could have done is the empathy part was fine. Yeah, that's cool. But I would need to create a different reframe, I think. I think an analogy here would be perfect to get them to create a bigger gap in their head, which, creates the urgency. Let's keep going. Remove. Next one. How do you manage your time when dealing with multiple leads and targets? Now, when it comes to handling multiple leads and targets, you need to make sure you manage your time right. So what I tend to do is firstly create a structure throughout the day, which systemizes how I'm going to approach each lead, right? So in the morning, I do this amount of leads. In the evening, I do this amount of leads. In the afternoon, at this time, I reach out to this lead, and this time I follow up with this lead. Like, just a system that allows me to follow it step by step, rather than getting all flustered and doing all in one go, or just not doing it at all. Okay, so that's what I would do. So for example, another thing, I would start off with the hot leads first, build that momentum, because they're more likely the ones that's going to close sooner than the colder leads. So the hot leads, go for them first and then move forward from there. And in terms of targets, the more hot leads you go through first, you're likely to hit your target. Okay, I'm messing up a little bit here, but we're going to keep it in. In fact, I'm going to leave my response like that. That was a bit of a mess up, but I'm going to keep this in the video. Let's keep going. In my review to question number 2, how do you manage your time when it comes to dealing with multiple leads and targets? So my response there, not too bad. I clearly knew that they're looking for the answer of, do you have a clear structure? I tried to explain I do, but my improvements could definitely be added here. So firstly, what I'll need to do is be a bit more confident in my response. I was calm in the way I'm relaying information, cool, but I wasn't confident, and words I was using, I need to be a bit more specific, because what they're looking for is they want to know, do I know how to follow up? Do I know how to prioritize follow up? Sorry, do I know how to update CRM and plan blocks as well? Those specific things is what I should have mentioned. So that's what I could have improved. Okay, that was that. Question 2. Number 3. Let's spin. What motivates you personally? What drives you to perform well in sales? Now, this is a good question. And personally, what motivates me and what drives me to do well in sales is a combination of two. I want to be in a position where I'm able to actually help people make life-changing decisions that impacts them in a positive way while still being able to grow my sales career. So when I can actually successfully hit targets consistently, more targets, more money, more commission for me, and the more money and more commission and targets I hit, the more people's lives I'm actually helping, the more people I'm getting signed onto the program, the more people that can have an impact on the world. So that combination is the best thing for me when it comes to motivation. And that's what drives me when it comes to sales. Question number 3 done. I think my response to the question, what motivates you personally, what drives you to perform well in sales? Looking at my response there, not bad. You know what? That was probably my best response to all of the answers. Only thing I'll probably add is maybe talk a little bit more about your growth, like how you plan on, learning from the top performers, mastering their techniques, then outperforming them in the ideal world, and then learning from people above, outperforming them, and just a constant growth cycle. That's what I value. And then with that growth comes more money, more commission for me that helps me out. But the more growth and technique and skills and knowledge I possess, that clearly means that I'm actually it's in correlation with the amount of people I'm actually helping to change their lives. I'm actually helping these people make life-changing decisions in a positive way. Something along the lines of that. I think that was number 3 or number 4 now. Let's keep going. Again, I'm keeping everything in. Any fuck ups, gonna keep it in. Read the truth. We need to improve. Let's see what this is. Tell me about a time you faced rejection. How did you stay motivated? When I first started face-to-face fundraising, it was the toughest thing I had ever done. I was new to sales, getting rejected after rejected after rejected. There was one week, I went an entire week without a single sign-up, and I thought about quitting there and then. But instead, I decided to treat it like training. I started tracking every conversation, trying out new openers, and watching what the top performers are doing when it came to handling rejection. Within 2 weeks, I went from the bottom of the leaderboard to hitting my KPIs consistently. And the lesson I learned from that was pressure, it doesn't break you, it builds you. If you stay consistent and you learn from it. And that's the mindset I take with me into every position moving forward. And that is my answer to the question. Could be better, but we're gonna keep going. So my response to the question, tell me about a time you faced rejection. How did you stay motivated? I went to my go-to story where it's normally the question, answering the question, tell me a time you had a hardship and you overcame it. I'm not too sure if this is the same sort of question, but that's how I interpreted it. Either way, I wrote down here on my notes, what they want to see is more resilience, mindset control, because they know sales can be emotionally taxing. So I believe in that story, it does show resilience and mindset control. So I think I answered that pretty well. On to the next one. Spin for number 5. Can you describe a time when you helped someone make a big decision? So, let me think. So a time I helped guide someone to make a big decision. Okay, I remember this clearly, in fact. So there was this one client I was speaking with bless them, they were struggling for multiple years trying to cut down weight and build muscle. They kept having the same issue where they would rebound and rebound every time they got this one trigger. And that was when it was chocolate cake. Whenever they would see it, it was just a rebound that would just loop them back, loop them back, loop them back. So what I helped them guide them with was a potential fix to look into options of testing out a new diet. At first, they were skeptical. They were like, oh, I don't have the money for a new diet. So this is what I responded. Yeah, I totally understand, man. Like, fitness is something that you guys invest into. Now, let me ask you this question. Let's just say, hypothetically, I gave you a 10K duffel bag right now. You can do whatever you want with it. It's yours for the keeping. Is this diet something you would invest into right now? And then from there, they were like, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, if I had the money, I would do it. And then I said, but why though? And then got them to elaborate and probe. And we went down a long journey on why they want to actually do the program and this, that, and the third. And then we completely overcame the objection of having no money. And from there, we broke down a little step-by-step plan, a payment plan, which allowed them to split the costs and get new different shopping lists in a different location, whether it be Lidl, Aldi, to actually get this new diet in. We worked together. And in the end, they managed to successfully get the new diet plan and achieve their weight loss goal and their muscle gain. And that was the full journey. We transformed their lives. And that's the step that I took to get there. If I had a question, it was, can you describe a time when you helped someone make a big decision? Now, looking at my response here, it was not, I see where I was trying to go with that. The critiques I would make is that the story was a bit too long-winded. The way you was speaking and explaining it using your body language and your verbal pacing, spot on, spot on. You wasn't like, and you wasn't like, and then making them fall asleep. You was good pace, you was engaged, it was good, but I think you could abbreviate a bit more. You could have just started straight from the objection, I think. I went from there. And also your technique for the objection handling, I think could have been better. Again, I think you could have went for a more consultative approach and asked certain phrases such as like, would that help you? And how would you feel if this was the case? And things like that, like trying to make it more about them rather than here's what I have for you. It's like, is this something you want, kind of thing? That's what I believe, because at the end of the day, they just want to hear that you guided someone emotionally, pretty much. Yeah, from your experience. So that's what I believe. So 5 questions out of the way. I did my best on answering them to the best of my current abilities, with no scripts, just off rip, how I would answer it if I was in that position. So now the next step for me to do is to review it again, try and learn a bit more, maybe do some research, watch some videos, read some books on the correct way to handle those questions that I got. So that way, if I do get accepted next week for this role, I can go in super confident that I know exactly what to say, exactly what they're looking for, so I can guarantee the job offer. Because this is a big one if I get it. This is a big one. We've been doing this for a very long time now. My goal is to get into a sales role before the end of the year. Ideally, by November 6th, that would be the perfect time, but just before the end of the year, because I want to end off strong, right? So we're going to keep on grinding until we get it, boys. Either way, wish me luck, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed day, lads.